Being known as a neighborhood recycler and all, I sometimes accumulate certain items that people just want to get rid of, whether they're too old or they break them or, you know, whatever happens to them. So, what I accumulated was actually these two tablets here, and what surprised me was a Nintendo 3DS XL. After seeing it, I tried to check it out by opening it, and it suffers from a common defect with the 3DS that the hinge will fall apart on it, so it just kind of wobbles here. But it does look to be in a pretty poor shape, actually. Looks like someone attempted to super glue this portion right here, and as you can see, it prevents the right trigger from actually clicking compared to that one. However, much to my surprise, it actually does turn on. However, there's probably more damage done to this top screen because, as you can see, it does not turn on. So I'm debating on whether I should actually make this a project or part it out or repair it. I really don't know yet. So for now, I'm just going to, at least that's how it works. So over here, actually, these two kind of caught my attention because they're the exact same model. Only difference is that one of them's blue. Normally they're just your average Android tablet. They're 7 inches, running Android 4.4 KitKat, but I'm surprised they still bear the RCA logo. For anyone familiar with the history of RCA, it's really no longer a company except by brand name only. So, you know, for them to put RCA on here and market it as a low-end tablet kind of just besmirches the name. Needless to say, these don't turn on. I tried plugging them in and whatnot, and they just have issues. So I believe this one actually just won't turn on, while this one right here will turn on, but will be stuck in a continuous loop. But the real reason I wanted to make this video wasn't to show off what I received from someone, but rather what I picked up from the side of the road. What I have here are 2 electric typewriters, one of them being a Brother Compactronic 3 and a Sharp, that'll come off, PA3110, the second, 2. These are both actually in pretty good condition. I'm not honestly sure if they work, but they're a bit dusty and they do look like they've been put into storage. I wouldn't be surprised, since a lot of people actually probably just want to get rid of these. Electric typewriters really aren't that popular anymore, since the computer has displaced all word processing capabilities. So this was probably thrown in someone's storage locker or in the back of their closet or even in their garage until over the weekend they probably just decided it was no longer worth taking up space. It was dark when I was coming home, so I kind of assumed they were just some small tool chest or something that wasn't really of importance until I noticed that one of them had the Sharp logo embedded on the front of it. And that's what really caught my attention, so I had to come and pick them up, and I don't think they'll be missed, especially if they were just thrown right next to the dumpster. But at least someone had the decency to keep them out of the dumpster in case someone wanted to pick them up. Here is the Sharp typewriter. When I initially plugged it in, it made a bunch of noise and then stopped right here. There's no paper in there, and I'm not going to go bother getting any, but I'm assuming it does work. So, unfortunately, I do not know too much about these, as I never really grew up with an electric typewriter. By the time I actually had to start writing my own papers, I was more accustomed to word processors on a computer. So, I can't say I'm familiar with them. However, I can assume that it does seem to be in working condition. I don't think typewriters were really known for their short lifespan. And like I said, this one does look to be in pretty clean order aside from just dust around it. It is worth noting that both of these did come with a carrying kit handle, which made it a lot easier to move when I was getting it into the car. It's not that they weigh very much, but it does make it convenient to move it, not only for me, but for anyone who would have actually used this in its time. And these actually don't weigh very much. I would assume this one is about 20 pounds, which is a lot less compared to a full-size IBM typewriter. As seen this one, I do not recall model number or make, however, I do know that it is from the early 70s. And this one is actually a behemoth, probably weighing in at about 45 pounds. Now this one, the Brother Compactronic 3, actually looks a little bit more full-featured. For example, you can actually set paper parameters here. I could be wrong on the other one, but I do not recall seeing anything like that. That or it's more electronic than it is here. Whereas you have different kinds of modes over here for margins and settings. Both of these do actually seem to have a full QWERTY keyboard. And it is fully equipped with your standard characters. It is worth noting that both of these came with a built-in cable and a trapdoor for them to go into, so you can either close it with the cable protruding out of it, or if you so wish or on the go, just kind of stuff the cable in here and close the door with it. And for anyone really keeping track at home, this is a Brother CE666. Despite the fact that the rest of the world has moved on to computerized typewriting, I do believe that these are, or at least have some sort of collector's value to someone, whether it's a nostalgic value or just because it'd be easier for them to get work done and be more efficient on just a standalone word processor than it would be on a computer. Now, that person may not be me, but after a little bit of cleanup and some proper word techniques, I'm sure someone would want these. As for these, I'm pretty sure the tablets are a lost cause. I'm not really going to try and do anything with them, so I'll probably just send them off to a recycler. As for the DS, because it still actually works, I think I might find a good use for it besides just throwing it off to a recycler. If I do, I will post a video about it.